And former President Trump won't just be celebrating a big endorsement this weekend. He could also be seeing a big bump in the polls. Our Decision Desk HQ national polling average shows Harris's lead slimming. This isn't a head-to-head matchup. She's only up by about 3 points in a two-way race. Compare that to her lead in a three-way race. Harris was up nearly 5 points with RFK Jr. in the mix. And this trend is similar in several key swing states. So here to break it all down, Decision Desk HQ Data Science Director Scott Tranter. Scott, it's always great to see you. So we're seeing this slimming in the polls. Now it's becoming a tighter race. How much do you think his endorsement, RFK Jr.'s endorsement of Trump, will factor into these numbers, especially considering what he said about the Democratic Party?
Yeah, look, I think his endorsement will have a marginal effect, but it'll have a marginal effect on a marginal race, right? Every little bit counts, and we see that in these battleground states. He'll probably only move 1 or 2% of voters, but that's what Donald Trump needs to keep this race close.
So you've said, you know, these 3 states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, these are the keys to winning this race, that any candidate who wins these states is almost certain to win the presidency. Before Harris was at the top of the ticket, Trump was leading in these states. But now, as we know, all of that is flipped. What are the issues, Scott, that she's winning on in these states specifically?
The issue specifically, economy, where Donald Trump does better than her, but not necessarily as much better as he did over Joe Biden. She's much more liked on some of the social issues, things like women's reproductive rights, things like labor, and a little bit on the border. She has improved her numbers on the border, surprisingly, over Joe Biden.
All right. If you had to give some advice right now at this hour in the race to both campaigns, what would that advice be, Scott?
We're about 4 weeks before North Carolina starts voting and about 8 weeks before about 20 to 30% of the voters will start voting. We are in the home stretch. Every little bit counts, and that next debate is probably going to be the last major chance for either campaign to make a difference.
Yeah, we will be watching. All right, Scott Tranter, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.